Right, I feel like every time I start one of these, I have to talk about the fact that I haven't done one of these in like, I don't even know, months. Literally, like maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm guessing, but you know what I'm saying. Multiple months. But it's because, sometimes you gotta do some research. And for a Naruto tier list, well, you gotta rewatch the entire show. So that's what I did. I rewatched the entire show just to get a better feel for these characters, just so I could rank them in this video right now. Now, the list that you have in front of you might have some glaring omissions. The one I can think of the most is Part 1 Sakura, which is not here, or at least kind of took a quick glance. Kind of took 20 quick glances. I did not see her, so I think she's actually not here. If she is, well, good. If she's not, fuck it. It's too bad, but we gonna move on with our lives. All the characters are not here. It's okay. I could still talk about them even if some of their incarnations are missing, which is probably what I'm gonna do for characters, especially like Sakura, because I have a lot to say about Sakura. So let's just get into it, I guess. First character, Yamato. I actually really like Yamato. I know he was kind of supposed to be Kakashi 2.0, although that's not really how that's how they introduced him in the story, but that's not really at all what he ended up being really early on. So I did enjoy Yamato. I think his relationship with Naruto is funny. It's not the same thing as Kakashi, which I appreciate. They didn't they didn't just try to recreate that one for one. They did make it different, just like how they made it different with Sai and Sasuke. Like I just kind of enjoyed that whole like arc at the beginning of Shippuden. It does drag on a little bit, but Yamato is definitely a character that makes that arc a little better. So I'm gonna put him in B for now. I might change up characters and stuff. It's like the first character I put in the list, so I don't have nothing to compare it to just yet. But I think he's gonna be B. Itachi, if I put anywhere other than Z, is a crime, but I'm gonna put him in, I'm gonna say S. For now, I'm gonna say S. He's definitely not my favorite character in the show. He's not even really up there for my favorite characters in the show. I just gotta acknowledge how much of a complete character he is and how much like his story drives my favorite character, which is Sasuke. Spoilers, but how much his story drives Sasuke and makes him like turn into a completely different person by the end of the story. But we'll get into that like later. But I do like Itachi as a person. I guess he's cool. This is part 2 Hinata. I mean, this is the last Hinata, but I'm gonna treat it as just Shippuden Hinata because there's a part 1 later. Actually, I'm gonna put it in an A. I actually do like part 2 Hinata a lot. I like Shippuden Hinata a lot. I have this whole thing with Sakura and Hinata comparing the relationships to like the person that they like. So Hinata with Naruto, Sakura with Sasuke. They go about it in 2 very different ways. I'm not sure how to explain. Like for Sakura, for example, there's no regression. Her relationship with Sasuke is something that ties her down. It's not something that enables her to become better, which is exactly what Hinata's like affection for Naruto does for her. It enables her to just become a better person. And Hinata doesn't do shit in Shippuden. She doesn't do shit until the pain arc. But that's one of her most important character moments. And then she disappears again until the war arc, and then that's another massive moment for the character, not only for her character, but also for Naruto. That relationship not only helps her become a better person, and also helps her steer Naruto in the right direction. I just really enjoyed their whole relationship. That's something that Sakura and Sasuke just don't have. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to shit on Sakura, because I'm gonna do that later, but it's like I just really enjoy Hinata as a character in Shippuden. Less in part 1, but the seeds are still there in part 1 for how she was gonna act in part 2. So I'll get back to that later. But anyways, this dude is just unimportant, just like his friend later on. These dudes just completely unimportant. Just I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what the fuck their names are. Like these dudes do not matter, bro, whatsoever. So I'm not even gonna rank them. I'm not even gonna waste my time on them. Fuck them. I'm done. This dude, I forgot his name, but I can't rank him lower. I don't dislike him. He's cool, I guess. But again, not doing much in the story, so it's kind of weird to rank him anywhere other than a C, I guess. Then again, okay, I'm gonna put people that I'm neutral for in D. D is neutral. If I put him in C, then to say that Yamato's only a tier above him is kind of fucked up. So I'm gonna put him in D. This guy, again, I don't know why these 3 aren't here, but part 1 Sakura isn't. But anyways, that I'm not gonna spend time on it. Part 1 Sasuke is very hard to rank because I'm gonna be honest, Sasuke is my favorite character, but part 1 Sasuke is annoying. But at the same time, he's annoying, but it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense why he acts the way he acts, and you understand that as you like, you kind of go through the story. If anything, at the end of the story, you really understand like Sasuke's whole progression as a character and why he's so bitter of a person. And like I can't fault the character for acting how he should act. You know what I mean? I think he's an accurate portrayal of someone who would have his whole clan murdered by his brother, and then his brother told him, "Hey, hate me and come fight me." Like that's like Sasuke's actions make complete sense. So even if some of it is kind of, well, not so much in part 2, but really in part 1, some of it is a little, annoying at times. Like he just seems like he's trying to be someone who he's not. It just makes sense within the confines of the story. So I'm gonna leave him an A for now. Again, might move it around later, but I'm gonna leave him an A. Minato, I think this is this just Edo Tensei Minato, or it is just Edo Tensei Minato? Kind of weird, because I mean he's the same character. I don't know why I'd have to rank him differently, but Edo Tensei Minato I'm gonna put in A as well. I did enjoy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna put Edo Tensei. I'm sorry, I'm like thinking. I think I'm gonna put Edo Tensei Minato in A, and I might put regular Minato a little lower. Or no, I think I'll put them on the same tier because they're the same character to me. I don't know why they need 2 different characters, but I think Edo Tensei Minato did what he had to do. I really enjoyed the war arc just because, like, it's a controversial arc because it brings back characters, and I know it's not a good look when its characters just get revived left and right. But in the instance of Naruto, it really does help get closure for so many characters besides Naruto and Sasuke, which they probably got the most closure out of anybody, but it really does help a lot of them get closure with people that they wouldn't have had interactions with otherwise. And Minato and Naruto's interactions are like they're really interesting. I do like Edo Tensei Minato. I do like how you see how much how far he goes for Naruto. I like how you see his display of power that you kind of saw here and there in the flashbacks, but you really see it in the war. Like it's just, I like Minato as a character in general, so I'll just put his regular version in the same place. Kid Kakashi, I see the Sharingan on there, so I'm gonna assume it's the whole thing. If it was before the Sharingan, I fucking do not really like Kakashi that much, but Kid Kakashi with the Sharingan, he's cool. You know what? I'm gonna put both together. I don't really enjoy Kid Kakashi that much, but I think that's the point. You're not supposed to enjoy Kid Kakashi. He's supposed to be like this jaded, but the rules are the rules. Like, I'm supposed to do what I'm told, type shit. Like, you're not supposed to like him. So I'm gonna leave him in C. Tsunade, I didn't actually like her that much the first time I watched the show. I guess I didn't really remember her contribution to the story, but the second time around, I do actually like her. I like how much she trusts Naruto, and to me, that's very, I don't know, it's very important because she was like, not the first. I'm not gonna say obviously she's not the first to trust Naruto, but she's in a position of like massive power, and she puts Naruto on a pedestal, and I feel like that helped him a lot, like get to places that he wouldn't have otherwise. So she definitely played a role in Naruto's like ascension to like stardom, I guess, or to power. I think that's what I felt when I watched the show. Sage Mode Naruto, come on, bro. Have you ever seen a better entrance in anything ever, bro? And that's besides the point. The main thing that I really like about Sage Naruto is that it is the point in the story where Naruto stops feeling like part 1 Naruto and he starts feeling like actual shit within Naruto. Jiraiya's death is the moment where Naruto becomes an adult, and Sage Naruto is like the completion of that growing up arc. That's just like very quickly happens after Jiraiya's death, and I just love his character so much more than before Jiraiya dies. It's fucked up, but the character definitely evolved in such a just a satisfying way that I don't know where else to put him other than Z tier. Also, just outside of character reasons, he just looks fucking cool, and he has powers that are fucking cool. Do I need to say more? I don't think so. Edo Tensei Itachi, I'm gonna put in A. I'm gonna put Itachi in S. I'm gonna treat this Itachi as if we didn't know anything, and I'm gonna treat this Edo Tensei Itachi as the Itachi that we know everything about. The way that Itachi acted before, like the way that we perceived him before we found out the truth, I would say that I didn't rate him that much. He was a cool antagonist. You definitely got like glimpses and hints that he wasn't all down with the Akatsuki's plan, like that he definitely had something for Sasuke just because of how he interacted with Naruto and stuff, but you never quite knew, and he just came off as an asshole, really. and then you find out the truth, and then you get Edo Tensei Itachi, and you see how much of like he's a Hokage. Like he basically acts like a Hokage, and I don't think there's any character to me, and obviously it's driven in the story, but there's no character to me that is more Akage or willing to do things that Akage would do more than Itachi. And I would say Hashirama, of course. Hashirama killed his best friend for that, but there's just something about the way Itachi acts that's very noble in a sense, which is weird to say considering all the fucked up shit that he's done, but the way that Itachi acts is he's so loyal, he's so like, it's so ingrained into him that I can't do nothing but like him. But again, that's how I feel after finding the truth. Before finding the truth, well, he was a cool antagonist, one of the coolest in the shows, but that's pretty much where it stopped for me. Guy, I have to put in Z tier. I love Guy and I love Lee as well. I really, really love Lee, but the thing with both of them is that Guy is basically Shippuden's version of Lee in Naruto, if that makes any sense. Like, Lee in Naruto was the taijutsu guy that didn't really have, didn't have any power. He just made it through sheer will and sheer training, whatever. He gets relegated to the back of the back in Shippuden, but my guy comes to the front, and everything that Lee did, like the equivalent of everything Lee did in Naruto, Guy does it in Shippuden. That's how I feel about their character, and he just does it tenfold, obviously, because the power levels just increase to a ridiculous level. But I just love Guy's character because he's essentially Lee, just I want to say more eccentric. I feel like they kind of match each other on that level, but I just really enjoy Guy. I also really enjoy his relationship with Kakashi. I think it's really funny, something that Lee doesn't really have. With I guess Neji would be the equivalent of Kakashi for Lee. That's a part that's kind of missing from Lee's character, especially in Shippuden. I just really like my Guy. I think he's a really funny character. Anko this is an example of a character that I don't feel no type of way about. She gets more screen time than I forgot his name, but she doesn't really even do that much, honestly. In like a lot of major events, she's just absent. And even in the biggest major event where she's somewhat prominent, she's passed out. So it doesn't really matter. She doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Raikage, I really like. I really, really do like the Raikage. Do I like him more than Part 1 Sasuke or Itachi or Hinata? I'm gonna put the Raikage down here. I'm gonna put Hinata up here just because I really did enjoy Hinata's character. Like, I think way more than a lot of other people, but I really did enjoy a character. But I still liked the Raikage, just maybe not as much as her, so I'm just gonna swap their placements. I would say I like the Raikage just as much as Part 1 Sasuke. It's kind of weird to say, but I do. I feel like there's something that was missing before he was introduced. Like, he is basically like the no bullshit, like super fucking rough, super like I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm not naming good qualities here, but he's just like a cool character. He's really cool. He's like, I just see the Raikage as a nice obstacle for Naruto to kind of jump over or walk around, literally. Baki, I think that's his name, right? I think it's Baki. I'm not even sure, but yeah, I don't feel no type of way about it. I don't know how I feel about the fact also that the entire Sand Nation just kind of committed like mass amounts of murder, or at least attempted to commit mass amounts of murder in the Elite Village, and then they were just, I'm not saying they were just forgiven, because there's a lot of fucking forgiveness in the show. That's kind of the point of the show, but I don't know. Baki's one of those characters that, to me, maybe doesn't deserve as much forgiveness as he's received. Although I guess that's kind of a fucked up thing to say, but I don't know. I'm not really a fan of him. Kabuto, I'm gonna put Kabuto in C just because I think his story is very interesting. His story is sad. Is this, hold on, let me just make sure. Is this the only Kabuto in this list? I highly doubt it is, but I just want to check. I cannot skim this fast enough to check. Anyways, I'm gonna pretend like this is the only Kabuto in the list. It's not. I see him right there. I'm gonna call this Sage Mode Kabuto, I guess. I'm not the biggest fan. I do like his backstory though, and I like how just because of his backstory, I don't like him as much as Kabuto though. I do like his backstory, and I guess that's why I'll put him in C. I might put the other one a little lower actually, but I do like Kabuto's just entire story. I did like his power up. I thought it was interesting. I always like seeing different applications of Sage Jutsu, so obviously I'm gonna like his transformation. I don't know. I feel like he did what he had to, and this version of Kabuto is a nice way to like redeem the character, in my opinion. Zetsu. I mean, I guess this is Black Zetsu. Probably a white Zetsu somewhere, or unless they're just making the Zetsu. I guess white Zetsu doesn't have that much of a personality, but he might be somewhere on there anyways. I don't really care for white Zetsu. I mean, a black Zetsu, to be honest. He just doesn't really have a personality. Kind of like Kaguya doesn't have much of a personality, or at least it wasn't displayed all that much in the show. So I don't got much to say about him. Sage of Six Path Mode Naruto, definitely Z tier. In terms of, you know, just Naruto the character, it's the same as Sage Jutsu Naruto. He has the same mentality, right? It's just a more evolved mentality from what happened, but I obviously still like it. The power up that he gets is also fucking cool. I wouldn't say it's as cool as Sage Naruto to me, but it's still really cool, so I'm just gonna put him in Z tier. Kaguya, again, I'm gonna put Kaguya on the same tier as the Black Zetsu. There's not much to say about Kaguya. She does, like, there is something there, and it's kind of unfortunate because there is certainly something there. She had a desire to save people. She wanted to be a good person, but I feel like it just wasn't explored enough. It just wasn't. So I have a hard time caring about her because there's not much there. Baryon mode Naruto. I haven't really watched Boruto like that. I feel like it's not fair for me to rank it. So I'm just not gonna rank some of the Boruto characters. I might rank like Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada just because I've seen some of it. But then again, I might not even do that because I haven't seen enough to rank them. I forgot this dude's name. I definitely forgot this dude's name, but I actually like him more than his teammates. But this I'm ranking straight off design because all of their attitudes are whack. But if I put all of them in F, it's kind of Oh, Dosu, that's his name. At least he showed some kind of initiative, you know. He was trying to kill Gaara. You know, I don't know. The other ones kind of were not doing shit. So I'm just gonna put Dosu in E.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Choji. Do they have a part 1 Choji? I prefer Choji in part 1 for sure. I actually like Choji so much in part 1. I did not remember liking him that much. Anyways, if we see him later, I'll put him. But I very much enjoyed Choji in part 1. In part 2, not quite as much. He has some moments, especially in that war arc, where I'm like, bro, you already... Like, I thought we already went over this. You know, I thought like you already got over your shit. Yes, you're too kind. We already understand that. But you know that when you're in a situation where you gotta protect your friends, you'll go over your kindness and just do what you gotta do. Obviously, in front of Asuma, it's not the same thing as in front of an enemy, but you know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Even Asuma's telling you to do it. But anyways, I do still like Choji though. Chojuro, what am I even supposed to say about Chojuro? He doesn't have much of a personality. You see some of it. I guess he's shy. It's funny, I guess, but I don't feel no type of way about it. Art. Actually, this is just Sakura period because there's not another Sakura for some reason. But I'm gonna have to put this as a package deal with every Sakura up until the war arc because there is for some reason a war arc Sakura, but not a part 1. Anyways, I don't know where I want to rank her because part 1 Sakura is very passive. Other than every interaction she has with Ino, and that to me is when her character is at her best, is when she actually has a character other than, oh my god, Sasuke, I'm about to cream my pants. You know what I mean? It's like whenever she has a personality, she's a good character to me. And in part 2, I actually do enjoy Sakura kind of a lot until it becomes about Sasuke all over again, and then she just loses herself and becomes the same character again. The 5 Kage Summit is probably the worst regression of her character in the entire story. And I mean that by far. Like, it's so disheartening to see the jump from part 1 to part 2 where she seems to become her own person. And then even like while they're chasing Sasuke and then they see him, she still looks stronger. She at least is putting up a facade or something. As soon as she actually sees him, it's like, bro, you've become part 1 Sakura all over again, and it's just disheartening. You know, I'm gonna actually leave her in C because I definitely don't feel no type of way about her. Shippuden Sakura and part 1 Sakura combined together, I don't know where else to put her but C. If it was separate, I'd probably put part 1 Sakura in like C or even D. I put it in C, and then I put part 2 Sakura in B. I just don't know where else to put her other than C in this instance. Shippuden Naruto. I'm gonna put Shippuden Naruto in. No, hold on, chill. I'm gonna put him in A. I obviously like Naruto, but I feel like he doesn't become like a fully fledged character until Jiraiya dies. Really, he is obviously his own person, but he really becomes just I need to chase Sasuke. I need to bring Sasuke to the village. I don't even understand why I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. Yeah, I want to help a friend. I can't become Hokage if I don't help a friend. Okay, but what are you trying to do above that? What are you trying to do beyond just bringing back Sasuke? I feel like there's an understanding that after Jiraiya dies, Naruto gets that before Jiraiya dies, Naruto doesn't necessarily get all that much. And I feel like that understanding actually helps Naruto, bring Sasuke back eventually, of course. I just feel like he just becomes a more complete character later on in Shippuden than earlier on in Shippuden. Like I've said, before he gets Sage Jutsu, he's really not the same character. And as a result, to me, he's not as enjoyable. Asuma, Asuma's cool. I definitely don't... I'd even put Asuma in C, to be honest. He's cool, but he's not one of my favorite characters. There's not much writing there. I like Shikamaru a lot, so obviously I like Asuma because Shikamaru likes him, but by himself, there's not much there. Danzo is a fucking piece of shit. I fucking hate this dude. There's no redeeming qualities at all. This dude is the beginning to the end a piece of shit. And even at the end, where like before he dies, where he's like, did I do the right thing? Shut the fuck up. You're doing the right thing by dying. That's what you're doing. Dari, again, not much there. He's kind of cool. He's basically just Land of Lightning Shikamaru, it seems, just stronger. But they kind of have the same attitude. Everything's a drag. Everything's boring. I don't know. I like him, I guess. At least, if anything, for his power set. He's kind of cool. Deidara, I don't feel no type of way about Deidara. You see a lot of him, and I still don't feel no type of way about him. He's just kind of cool, I guess. Kimimaro, I actually like a lot. I'm gonna put him in B. I actually like Kimimaro a lot. It's weird to say because he really doesn't get that much screen time, but the screen time that he gets, I just like the type of character that he is. I like very loyal characters, even if sometimes like they're in the wrong. At least they stick to their morals. They stick to what they say. They're not wishy-washy. They're not flip-flopping between one ideal to the next. Kimimaro is the perfect example of someone who is loyal to a fault, and although that's not necessarily a good characteristic of the character, I do enjoy him so much more because of that. Kakuzu, there's not really much there with Kakuzu, to be honest. I don't really feel no type of way about him either. There's not much character there. He's just all strength and not that much substance, and I feel like there could have been a lot there just because of the fact that he was so fucking old. But he's just kind of, I don't know. He's alright, I guess. Ibisu, no type of way. There's nothing there for me to... no, I don't dislike him. Just no type of way. There's nothing there for me to feel some type of way about. Shizune, same thing, I feel. She definitely gets way more screen time than Ibisu, obviously, and some of these other characters, but I don't know. As much as I like Tsunade, I don't really care all that much for Shizune. A lot of the Jinchurikis... I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about them because we never really got that much about them, so I'm probably gonna put a lot of them in D, to be honest. If I start ranking by look and power set rather than like attitudes and stuff, it's not really gonna be consistent with the rest of the list. So I'm just gonna base off attitudes for this list, or how much I enjoy the character based on their attitude is what I'm trying to say. Part 1 Gaara. Now this is interesting. Part 1 Gaara and Part 2 Gaara are definitely going to be in completely different places. I would put Part 2, honestly, I don't really feel no type of way. I mean, no, Part 1, sorry. I put Part 1 in D. I don't really feel no type of way about Part 1 Gaara. He's like a major antagonist of the show, but he just doesn't bring that much to the table to me, other than like just severe anger. And I guess his backstory is interesting and everything. Okay. I'm trying to think about this. As a character himself, his backstory is interesting. He is a somewhat understandable character. He is a very tragic character, but outside of like his relationship with Naruto, I don't really care about Gaara. Yeah, I'm gonna put him a D. I just don't. Now part 2 Gara I enjoy a lot because you get to see. I mean, I'll even put part 2 Gara in A, to be honest. You get to see his progression as a character, and he's so different. And you can tell that fight with Naruto just completely transformed him. And it took a while. Even him becoming a Kazekage completely transformed him, because he's definitely not the same after that Naruto fight and before that Naruto fight. But even, like, you know, right after that Naruto fight when he's fighting with Lee, he's still not the same as he is when he becomes the Kazekage. And then as the show goes on, he becomes more and more of an actual Kage, and it's so cool to see that transformation of the character into a fully fledged character rather than just like a ball of hatred. Definitely one of the most satisfying character arcs on the show to me. Gamabunta, I don't know. How am I supposed to... I don't know. I mean, I like Gamabunta. He's funny. I like how he kind of tests Naruto and he makes Naruto earn his power. So I'll put him in C for that. But outside of that, you don't really get to see Gamabunta all that much in the show, outside of like fighting. But it's kind of hard to judge a character's like likableness based off just fighting in the context of this list that I'm making right now. The second Mizukage, I definitely actually enjoy it. It's kind of fucked up to put him on the same tier as these guys, but I like the short time that we got on him. That's what I'm basing my impression on, and I liked him. I thought he was funny, so I'll put him up here in B. Hagoromo, I'll put Hagoromo in like C. He didn't leave that much of an impression on me. None of the Otsutsuki's really left that much of an impression on me. This is crazy, by the way. Putting the second Mizukage above. I just thought the second Mizukage was funny. Okay, leave me alone. Haku is another example of a just loyal to a T character. I gotta put him on the same tier as Kimimaro. I just really enjoy how I think both of them are well aware that they might be on the wrong sides. That's the impression I got, but it didn't really matter, because they were willing to go above and beyond for the people that saved them out of their situation, or to them seemed like saving. To the people that actually saved them, it was more like using them. I wouldn't say that as much about Zabuza that I would say about Orochimaru, but it's kind of the same idea. I forgot the dude's name, but again, Jinchuriki, don't got much to say. Hanzo, don't have much to say, to be honest. He is cool, but I feel like whatever I like about him is also like just countered by the fact that we never got all that much about him, and some of the shit that we got about him just paints him in a really shit light. So I'm gonna leave him at D. Don't feel no type of way. Hashirama, I actually really like. He's just a cool character. He really is. He's basically the original Naruto, and Madara is the original Sasuke. Yeah, no shit, but you know what I'm saying. Hashirama is a cool character. I like his conviction. I mean, he basically encompasses a lot of what makes Itachi who he is, what makes Naruto who he is. Like, he's just the predecessor to that way of thinking. I think, yeah, I'm gonna put Hidan in D. I don't feel no type of way about Hidan. I should feel some type of way about Hidan, but I just simply do not. Part 1 Hinata, I'm gonna put Part 1 Hinata just like in B. Actually, I like Part 1 Hinata. She just doesn't really have that much screen time whatsoever. But again, the screen time that she gets is important, and it shows how much her relationship with Naruto helps her become a better person, and that's what I really like about that whole relationship. Third Hokage, actually no, third Hokage, but I could put him at F right now. This dude is a piece of shit. Yo, this dude is a fucking bitch. The things that he has let slide while he was Hokage is crazy. Man said he was gonna take care of Naruto. He let that kid suffer. He should have taken care of Sasuke after his whole clan got murked, when he was aware of why he got murked, and he let that kid suffer. There's no excuse. One of his pupils is literally one of the main antagonists of the entire Naruto universe. Like, you gotta figure your shit out, bro. There's no way you left such a shit legacy behind. That being said, he was a cool character when we saw him. He was a nice dude, you know, kind of instilled the will of fire into like the entire young generation, or Naruto's generation. You can't really hate him for that, but God, bro, I wouldn't even be mad if somebody put him in F, to be honest. Kisame, I don't feel no type of way, man. A lot of the Akatsuki, I'm realizing right now, I love the Akatsuki as an organization, but their individual members, it doesn't look like I really care about them now that I'm ranking them. Ibuki, I forgot his name. I think it's Ibuki. No type of way. doesn't really do much. Ino, also, no type of way. Just dollar store Sakura to me. I don't know. It's kind of fucked up to say, but that's what she is. Just dollar store Sakura. Especially part 2. Part 2 Ino has nothing going on for her. Iruka, I'm going to put in... See, my thing with Iruka, okay, this is a weird placement. My thing with Iruka is that I like Iruka's relationship with Naruto more than I like Iruka as a character himself. If I had to rank him by himself, I gotta put him in C. If I gotta rank his relationship with Naruto, I gotta put him way higher. Actually, I'm gonna put him a little bit higher because the reason why Naruto is who he is because of Iruka partly. So I'm gonna put him in B. Jiraiya, I mean, you gotta put Jiraiya in S tier. You gotta put Jiraiya at least in the top 3 tiers. There's no way he's anything less or more than that. Like, or less rather. There's no way he's anything less than that. He, literally, the reason why Naruto is who he is not only because of Jiraiya's teachings, but also because of Jiraiya's death. He made Naruto into the lovable character that I think that he is right after Jiraiya's death. And also, just outside of that, to me, Jiraiya is a really cool character. He's funny, strong as shit. I like the way that he teaches Naruto. And although I don't really understand why he doesn't approach Naruto earlier, or I guess maybe, yeah, I guess he did approach Naruto pretty early, but he could have approached Naruto way earlier, knowing that it was kind of Minato's kid. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm pretty sure that might have not even been planned at that point in the story, so I'm not gonna shit on him for that, but I just really enjoyed Jiraiya. Jirobo, don't feel no type of way. I'm telling you right now, all the sound 4 are all going in here. Kimimaro is the only one that I really enjoy out of that arc in terms of like the villains. Jugo, Jugo I actually like, again, loyal to a fault, but not necessarily as much as Kimimaro and Haku. He's more of like just like, oh, I'll follow what Kimimaro said no matter what. It's cool. I like how far he goes to take care of, like, you know, Karen, Sasuke, and Suigetsu, but he doesn't really have that much of a character himself. He's more of an extension of Kimimaro in a way. The Ten Tails, kind of hard for me to feel some type of way about the Ten Tails. It doesn't really have an attitude. I mean, it doesn't really have a personality, so not really sure how I'm supposed to rank the Ten Tails. See, Kabuto, I'm gonna put in no type of way. Actually, I just dislike Kabuto. Like, up until he becomes Seijutsu Kabuto, I just dislike him. He's not a cool character to me. He's not even all that much of an interesting character until you learn more about him, or until you see, even before you learn about him, until you see how far he's willing to go to, like, become Orochimaru, or to carry on Orochimaru's legacy. He just doesn't have that much going for him, in my opinion. Kakashi Z tier. Kakashi Z tier. Nowhere else does he fit. Heed my words, nowhere else does he fit. Kakashi is Z tier. I don't give a fuck. He's such a fucking clean character. Every time he's on screen, he's the main focus. He's so mesmerizing. And that being said, he's still such a flawed character, and I think that's what makes him so endearing, that he's so flawed, yet he seems so perfect to everybody, and then you actually get to learn about the character, and he's so flawed. And I love characters like that just have that duality to them, and Kakashi just embodies that perfectly. I could spend hours talking about Kakashi. I'm obviously not going to do that, but I could spend hours. I love this character so much, way more than I did the first time I watched it. Kankuro, I actually like, I'm gonna treat this as Kankuro just period, not like part 1 or part 2 Kankuro. Skimming, yeah, I don't see a part 2 Kankuro. I actually kind of like him. There's not much going for him in part 1, but then again, none of the Sand Trio kind of have much going for them in part 1, in my opinion, other than Gaara, if you really, really like Gaara. But there's not much. Okay, no, that's actually fucked up. I'm not gonna put Kankuro above Gaara in part 1. I'm gonna just, no, I'm gonna leave both of them and just feel no type of way. Karin, feel no type of way. She's just okay. I don't like characters that are just head over heels and have no personality besides the fact that they like someone, aka Sakura in a lot of Shippuden, or in a lot of Naruto period. Kiba, also no type of way. Definitely not one of my favorites of the, like, that Leaf generation, Naruto's generation. Definitely not one of my favorites. Is his name Kidomaru? Something like that? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about him. Although his design's kind of cool, but just don't care about his attitude. Or his personality, I mean. B, B, do I want to put him in A? Do I want to put him in A or S? I don't know if I want to put B in A or S. I think putting B on the same tier as these three is a little crazy, so I'm gonna put him on here. I'm not mad saying that I like B as much as I like the Raikage, although I do like B more, but you know, if I had to rank and stuff, I'd have to add an extra one between S and A, which I'm not gonna do that anyways. Yeah, I like B. I do enjoy his character. See, I did a video on Akinator with this bitch, and I still don't remember her name, bro. I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say. Conan, nothing. No, I'll put Conan in C. I did like those flashbacks with the like the OG Akatsuki. I did like her, Yahiko's, and Nagato's like whole relationship. I thought she was a cool character, but that's pretty much it. Konohamaru, I'm also gonna say he's a pretty cool character, but definitely not someone that I'm like, holy shit, I love so much. He's just kind of cool. I don't know this dude's name. I remember him, but I don't know his name, so I'm just gonna put him here. Kurenai, also just don't. There's not much there for me to feel about Kurenai. She's just alright. She barely has a role in the story after she gets pregnant, which is kind of sad, but it's true. Kushina, I'm gonna put an A, right on the same tier as Minato. Yeah, I'm gonna put Kushina in A. Just like it's just so heartwarming to see the love of a mother. You know what I'm saying? That shit just warms my heart. It really does. Madara, I'm gonna put an S tier. I just enjoy Madara so much. I really do. Up until he becomes the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, then I'm not gonna lie, I don't enjoy him as much. I like Madara as a character himself. I like the way that he does things himself. I like the way that he fights himself, not necessarily the extension of his power that is the Ten Tails when he eventually gets it. I just really enjoy his character up until that specific point in the story where he just becomes Kaguya. Basically, he barely stays the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. He stays there basically for that fight against Guy, and that's it. I just really enjoy everything that comes before that and the scheming part of Madara's like role in the story. When he achieves his goal for that short time period where he achieves it and he's able to like kind of reap the rewards of it, I just don't like him as much, to be honest. Obito, this is part 1 Obito. I kind of like Obito, I'm not gonna lie. Again, a very flawed character, but I do enjoy him. The Mizukage is kind of, I don't know, she got that one joke going for her that she's not married. It's like, ah, that's funny, but she has 0 personality. Mifune, I do like that whole thing with Hanzo. That's about it though. A lot of these characters, there's like 1 or 2 moments that like, you know, I really enjoy. Scratch the Ten Tails. I don't even know what the Ten Tails is in this list. A lot of these characters, there's a few moments that I do enjoy, but there's just not enough that I enjoy about them to put them over the they're kind of cool threshold. You know what I'm saying? Guy, I'm gonna treat this as Guy. I guess I gotta put Guy up here, right? Like, if I'm putting, I mean, I guess if I'm just gonna put regular Guy up here, which I do really enjoy Guy in all parts of the story, I would obviously put 8th Gate Guy here because it's like literally one of the coolest moments in the entire fucking show. So yeah, I'll leave Guy up here. Minato, I am going to put, I guess, on the same tier as Edo. Minato, I don't remember what I said. It was like half an hour ago, I think, but I don't know if I'd put Minato higher or lower than I am right now compared to his Edo Tensei self, but I'm just gonna leave him up here because I feel like he's the same character. He just is able to, you know, do things that he wouldn't before because he was dead. But I feel like he would have acted the same whether he was alive or dead at that moment with Naruto, right? I don't think the fact that he came back to life would have changed the way that he was acting with Naruto at that moment. Mitsuki, again, it's kind of hard for me to rank Boruto characters. I don't know much about them, so I'm not going to. What the fuck is this dude's name again? I forgot this dude's name, but he's a son of a bitch. Is this Mitsuki? Who's this? What's the dude's name? Is this dude's name Mitsuki? I think so. And then this guy is somebody else, or maybe I'm confusing the names. Anyways, I do not like this dude right here. That's what I'm trying to say. Second Tsuchikage, he's okay. He's used really for a lot of the war, so there's not, his personality doesn't shine through all that much. I feel like the second Mizukage might be one of the only ones. I think the second Mizukage is the only Kage that his personality really shines through. Comparatively, the fucking Kazekage, Gaara's father, is even worse somehow than when he was dead. Kurama, I really like Kurama's character. I love how he becomes after his like hatred is cleansed out of his body. It's kind of a weird way to say that, but I really like how he's so helpful to Naruto, how he's so thoughtful towards Naruto. And I just think the relationship is just super cute, to be honest. Part 1 Neji. Part 1 Neji. This is a weird one right here. I don't really like Part 1 Neji, that's the thing. I'm gonna put Part 1 Neji up here, because his character is definitely interesting. He has a nice character progression through only Part 1. Part 2 he disappears. He has a nice, literally, Part 1 he has a nice character progression, and I feel like his arc gets completed in Part 1, which I can't say for a lot of characters, which is why sometimes like their Part 1, Part 2 incarnations are kind of ranked differently. But I feel like Part 1 Neji has a very complete character progression. So, although I don't really like him that much, just in general, I gotta appreciate the character progression. War Arc Sakura, I'm gonna put on the same tier as regular Sakura. The same problems occur in the War Arc that they do in the entirety of Shippuden and regular Naruto, to be honest. So many instances where she's like, oh, why didn't Sasuke look at me like, bitch, do you see what's going on around you? Anyways, I'm not gonna rehash the same shit that I already said, but she gotta get a fucking grip. This is Pain, but there's Nagato later, right? There is Nagato, I just saw him. So is this Yahiko? Should I treat this as Yahiko? Well, no, this is obviously Pain. Pain as a character, I don't feel that much about. No, that's not true. I do like Pain as a character, but it's really Nagato behind Pain that is such an interesting character. And I'd put Nagato in B. You know, I'm gonna start doing that because I forget arguments that I give when I fucking end up talking about characters half an hour later than when I saw them the first time. But I'm gonna put Nagato in B tier. I really do enjoy Nagato's character. Pain is only an extension of Nagato, so he's missing some of the deepness, I guess, that Nagato brings to the show. Pain is a lot more surface level. Nagato goes a lot more into just why he does what he does, why he feels how he feels, and I really like the back and forth between Nagato and Naruto, especially, you know, they're both students of Jiraiya. You get that whole come from the same mentor, but then they kind of went different ways. They can each kind of talk about their experiences. I just love that interaction. It makes me enjoy Nagato's character even more than I would have without that interaction. Part 1 Naruto, I feel like it's a sin that we didn't get to this earlier, but Part 1 Naruto I'm going to put in B. I don't enjoy Part 1 Naruto as much. That's a lie. I'm gonna put Naruto in A, because I feel like I do enjoy Naruto, Part 1 Naruto, just as much as Part 2 Naruto. Obviously, again, once he gets that Seijutsu transformation, he becomes my top 2 and he ain't 2 favorite character in the show. But until then, he's just missing that deeper reason for why he does what he does, which I feel like a lot of characters benefit from in the show. Boruto, we're gonna just skip over it because I'm not gonna rank him. I don't know enough about him. Adult Obito, I'm gonna put in C. I like Adult Obito just as much as I like Kid Obito. I feel like the reason why he does what he does is understandable to a certain degree, and I don't relegate Obito to that oh, he's just doing it because he wants Rin back. He specifically says it himself that that's not why he's doing what he's doing, and also it's pretty obvious that that's not why he's doing what he's doing. But it's certainly partly because of that, and for that reason I think it's a little wild that he would go out of his way and do everything that he does for that reason. Of course he was manipulated by Madara, but eventually he becomes his own person, not just a Madara clone, which is what he was groomed to be. And when he becomes his own person and he shows how much conviction he has to do the things that he does, you kind of realize, wow, there's a really deep character that was kind of just not wasted, but that was kind of lost here because he was steered in the wrong direction. And I feel like that's the most interesting thing about Obito, what he could have been. The Tsuchikage is
C tier,
because you get to see his, not transformation, but you get to see how his attitude or his personality changes after he's confronted by someone of a younger generation when he thinks that things will never change. I do like that confrontation between old and young, and he's, you know, part of that confrontation, so I do actually enjoy him. Also, he's just kind of a cool character. Maybe I should put him higher. I think I'm gonna put him higher, actually. I'm gonna put him in B tier because I do really enjoy that that confrontation, and I do like how he comes out of it and how he actually takes, instead of just being some stubborn old man, he actually does get with the times, which is crazy because usually old people in these shows, they don't really evolve, they don't really want to follow the times. The Tsuchikage is definitely an example of someone who is confronted for his, you know, bygone ideals, and he evolves as a result. Orochimaru, I'm gonna say I like him just because he's a good villain, and I definitely don't feel no type of way about him. I can't put him in E or F because I don't dislike him, but there's just so much about Orochimaru that I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest. And like, out of all the villains in the show, he's most definitely not my favorite. Rin, I don't really care about Rin, to be honest. Part 1 Lee is a fucking goat. Part 1 Lee is goated to fuck, bro. He's such a clean character. Every time you see him, he just steals the show. He like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just Guy and Lee are so interesting because they break the norm of what Naruto is. Roshi, I think that's the name, right? Roshi. Again, not Jinchuriki. Don't feel no type of way. Sai, I'm gonna put in C. Sai's cool, but he doesn't. I mean, he literally doesn't have a personality. That's his whole character. But his quest to find a personality is interesting, but not enough for me to say that he's like one of my favorite characters. I don't even know what the fuck this dude's name is. I have no idea, but I don't feel no type of way about him. Again, Sound 4. Is Taguya here? Not yet. There she is. Let me just put her here right now. I don't care about the Sound 4. I just don't. Sakamo, we haven't gotten enough about Sakamo. Can't like him or dislike him. All I know is that he killed himself because he broke the rules to save a friend. I could say I like him because of that, but what am I basing that on? You know what I mean? I don't know who he is as a person. Sarada, okay, I think this basically completes like the Boruto stuff. I can't really rank them. Here, let me skip some stuff. You can go here. I don't feel no type of way about you. What else? You, another Jinchuriki, Utakata, don't feel no type of way. 1010, absolutely do not feel no type of way. Yagura, Yugito. I think that's it for the ones I don't care about. I think. Okay, fuck it, let's get back to it. Sasori, don't care about. No, I'm playing, except I'm not. I don't really care about Sasori. I'm gonna. I don't know. I definitely would not say. No, that's a lie. I would not say that Sasori is my favorite. Is like above any of these. Yeah, I'm gonna put Kisame higher. I'm trying to think about it. I do like the Akatsuki, but I'm wondering why right now because all of them are in C or D. But about Sasori, I don't really care. I don't really care about him all that much. I think his story is pretty tragic. I do like the parts where you get to see why he's turned himself into a puppet, why he's so obsessed with the ideas of puppet. That's really interesting. But as a character himself, there's not much there. Kisame, I'm gonna put in a tier higher because you do get more representation about him. I feel like he's also loyal to a fault, to a certain extent, which is kind of weird to say about an Akatsuki member, but he really goes above and beyond to complete his objective. And I do like the introspection at the end before he dies, like what he was saying, like the conversations that he had with Itachi and stuff. I did really enjoy that because it came out of left field in a good way. It was just surprising to see Kisame reflect on something when he just seemed like such a disconnected character. And yes, this Sasori placement turned into a Kisame placement because there's not much here, really. Sasuke. Stage of Sixth Path. Sasuke, to be precise. Also, there is no other Sasuke. That's a lie. There's a Sasuke right here. I'm going to put him in Z tier as well. I like Part 2 Sasuke a lot more than I like Part 1 Sasuke. I'm saying that because in Part 2 you get to see him explore why he feels what he feels. You also get to see him confronted about what he feels. You get to see him rage out after learning the truth, and then you get to see him calm down and try to understand his feelings. All of that is missing from Part 1, obviously, because there just wasn't really all that much time to cover that, and also it's like Sasuke's character arc could have never been completed in Part 1. So his character suffers in a way because of that, but in part 2, his character evolves so many times, and he's such a wishy-washy character, which usually I don't really like that much. But in his case, like, I can't even blame him. I can't even blame him. Everything he does, to a certain extent, is understandable, really. The assault on the Kage summit, right after he learns that his whole quest to kill his brother is basically just flipped on its head because he realizes that shit, I fucked up. Or not really, he fucked up because he had to kill Itachi to feel fulfilled. I don't think even if he learned the truth about Itachi, I don't know if it would have hit the same if he didn't kill him. But that's besides the point. I just really like Sasuke's character evolution from part 1 to part 2, and all just throughout Shippuden up until the very last episode of Shippuden. I enjoy who he is as a character way more than I did in part 1. Shikamaru, this is part 1 Shikamaru? Yeah, I'm putting Shikamaru up here. I'm not going to lie. I don't remember liking him this much. I don't remember liking him this much. God, I really like Shikamaru. He's so resourceful, and I guess that's kind of the point of his whole character, that he's a very resourceful character. But he's also just, like, that whole part about him being sad and disappointed that he left, that he wasn't able to save his friends, that, you know, after the Sasuke retrieval arc failed, that he wasn't able to save his friends, or that he left his friends in that situation because he wasn't able to be the best leader he could have been. That's one of the hardest hitting moments in the entire show for me, and I can't necessarily explain it, but it hits so hard. It makes me like him so hard that every other instance where he's in the show, there's like to me there's a heightened focus on him, and just because of that, I have to like him. I don't know if there's a part 2 Shikamaru. There isn't, but I would still put him in S tier. Shino, there's not much going on there. I don't think there's a part 2 Shino, but I'm actually gonna say, no, I'm lying. Shino, I feel like is portrayed as not being much there, but actually he's a very noble character. He is, and it's kind of weird to say, but he's just, the show doesn't allow him to be the likable character that he actually is. That's how I perceive him. Shisui, I mean, there's really nothing there with Shisui. If we got more, I'm sure I'd put him higher, but the way that it stands right now, I don't know where to put him, really. Sugetsu, same thing, I guess. We see more of Sugetsu, but there's just not much there. As much as I like the character himself, I would put him on the same tier as Karin. Both of them are kind of inconsequential to the main story. Temari, I'm going to put in the just same tier as Kankuro. Yeah, same tier as Kankuro. Yeah, I don't really feel no type of way about Temari, to be honest. The Ichiraku ramen guy, I don't remember his name, but I'm gonna say I like him. It's kind of fucked up saying I like him more than all these characters, but you know, he played his role. You know, there's nothing wrong with liking a character that doesn't get as much screen time as others, but you know, when they play their role, they do what they gotta do, and when they're on screen, they're enjoyable. Well, then I'm gonna put him higher than some of these other characters that get way more screen time. Toby, I'm going to put... Well, this is Toby also after he reveals that he's, you know, Madara, whatever, quote-unquote Madara. I don't know if I like him that much. I think I do. I actually, yeah, I do. I would put him on the same tier as Obito, just because he basically acts the same, to be honest. Would I put Obito higher after he becomes nice? I don't know. 'Cause I feel like I should probably treat this as like Obito before he realizes that he fucked up, and this as Obito after he realizes that he fucked up. Although there's literally Ten Tails Jinchuriki Obito here, which I'm gonna place in don't care because I don't care. But I guess I would put these two here. I like them for different reasons, but I feel like Obito as a character himself just can't breach that B tier of enjoyment for me. The second Hokage, racist fuck, I'm gonna put him in D. He's not really that enjoyable. I love his design. I love like a lot of things about this character, his power set, his design, but in terms of personality, there's not much there to carry him forward. Chiyo, I actually really like Chiyo way more than I remember. She is a tragic character, but the lengths that she's willing to go to atone for her sins, and again, she's another one of those characters like the Tsuchikage, but not to the same extent, that's willing to kind of move on from the past and see the future generation for what it is, right? She just needs a harder wake-up call than the Tsuchikage did. I do not like you, bro. Fourth Kazekage is a son of a bitch. I cannot even lie. Even after he was revived, he was still talking shit to Gaara. Although, to be fair, I guess he didn't know that Gaara didn't have Shukaku anymore. But it's still, like, you see your son in the Kazekage position, you could at least assume he got his shit together. Anyways, ending it with Zabuza. I'm gonna put Zabuza in B tier. I like Zabuza a lot before the whole thing with Haku, but then right after the thing with Haku, where, like, you know, Haku dies, and then Zabuza kind of, like, eyes on the bridge, and he's, like, going to avenge Haku or whatever. Not to avenge Haku, obviously, because that would mean killing Kakashi, but kind of takes out his anger about Haku's death against the thugs. It's just that moment is so iconic in the like the entirety of Naruto. I can't even just place him anywhere other than B. And yeah, that's my list, minus the 4 Boruto characters that I don't really want to rank because I don't know them enough. But yeah, again, some glaring omissions here, probably. Some part 1's missing, part 2's missing, like part 2 Shikamaru. But, you know, all in all, I think it's pretty complete.